What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Invisible Voice podcast. So, Sadman, I don't know how to ask you this, but let me be super straightforward. So, how's your relationship going right now?
What relationship?
Like love story, your love life.
No, nothing's going on actually. On that field, nothing's going on.
So, let me tell the backstory behind this, why I asked you this question today. So, in one of the previous episodes, I asked you if you were in any kind of relationship or not, and you said that you are in a relationship.
Did I?
Well, you directly didn't say that, but the way you answered kind of indicated that you are in a relationship. Do you remember that?
Technically, if you say like I'm in various kinds of relationship in my family, with my friends, with you also, I have a professional level of relationship. So if you count that in, like, of course, I'm in some kind of relationship somehow. But the way you are indicating, quote unquote, that field is empty. Actually, nothing's going on.
You were trolling with me at that time, right?
If you say so.
Oh my god. Man, I was waiting for this moment so that I thought like I would ask you and I would get tips from you.
Exactly. You kind of prepared some kind of punch or like lines surrounding that my answer will be yes.
Yes, I was waiting for this moment, the golden moment.
Okay.
So like I'm kind of disappointed now because we're both single, we're in the same boat.
So am I. So am I.
So
Yeah.
in order to talk about this topic, let's tell our age first. So I'm 16 years old. I'm definitely a teenager. And how old are you? Are you 20?
No. How what makes you think I'm 20? Of course, I'm also a teenager.
How old are you?
Technically, I'm 17.
17.
Yeah.
Well, you are older than me. Of course, you are old anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old anyway doesn't. Still a teenager. I'm still a teenager.
But still old. That is the word.
A few months, if you say few months or like yeah.
Whatever. So, do you think that being old in a field where most of them are younger than you, does it affect you or cost you anything? Or like, do you think that being old is completely fine and it has advantages?
Being old is not completely fine always, but with growing age, you're like getting experiences in every day of your life. So the older or like the elders have much more experience than you.
So, what are you trying to say is like that you are the fact that you are 17, like it's actually an advantage, right? That I'm younger, it's not good. That's what you are trying to say.
You are younger, that's not good. When did I say that? I just said that I'm 17. In a year, I will get my driving license. You will have to wait for another 2 years. That's it.
Yes, I have to sit in the passenger side of your car, right? That's what you are trying to say. Oh man, that's pathetic.
That's it.
Yeah, that is the thing. Like in 1 year, in the next year, you will be 18, right? Then you will be a grown ass man and you can marry and stuff, right? But I won't be able to do that.
Uh, in our country, the males have to be at least 21 years old to get married. If you consider that, then no. I heard I would have to wait for another like 2 or 3 years legally, but I don't want to get married. That's it.
You don't want to get married?
No. This is like hell of a job and like hell of a responsibility. Besides, like it's messy.
So let me be clear. So you don't want to marry anyone, you don't want to marry any girl, but you want to date women, right? You want to date one by one.
The dating sounds fine.
Yeah, dating sounds fine. That is the answer I was expecting. So yeah, you are not into that one woman type of guy, right?
One woman type of guy doesn't actually exist, and no, exist. It exists.
How doesn't that exist? Because
It's rare.
why is it rare? Bro, like the couples, there are 50 or 60, they are like married for 40 years.
If you consider that time like about 30 or 40 years ago, that was different. But right now, sitting on 2020, sitting in the year 2020 and onwards, things gonna get changed. Of course, you agree or not?
Yes, I agree with that because I think there will be more cheating between couples or like marriage couples.
Of course, there will be. Of course, there will be. I agree that.
Like, what do you think the main reason behind this? It's because like the world is so much more advanced, or like what do you?
Uh, it's all about availability. Things are so much available right now. People have so much options in their hand. Then it's easier. It's also easier to switch between options. Then of course you would want to experience what's in here and what's not in there. You of course want to experience that. That's why these things are getting messed up.
Yeah, all right. So there was kind of a good answer. Let's back to the old thing. So when I was in British Council, I was taking an English course, right? So there is like sections, four sections, each section basically. Like if you are from 5 to 10, you get in one section. If you are 11 to 15, then you get in one section. If you are 16 to 20, you get in another section, right? But when I was in British Council, my age was 15 years. It was like the year before. I think 15 or 14. I don't remember that exactly. So I was kind of in that age, and I was taller than my average mates. So I was kind of taller, and like when I got into the admission office, and the admission officer, he didn't believe that I was like 14 or 15, looking at my tallness, if it is the right way to say. And then I got into my section, which was like 11 to 15. And in that class, I was the tallest guy. Like everyone is like little kids, and I was the only one who was that much tall. And I was kind of looked the oldest guy there. And there I kind of felt embarrassing. I felt kind of embarrassing, and I thought I was a loser because I was doing class with those young kids. So I didn't see any advantage there. Do you agree with me there?
There's nothing to agree or disagree in this type of situation. Why would you feel embarrassed? That's my question.
Because everyone is like so much younger than me, and I am learning basically what they are learning, right? I don't know why any 14 or 15 years old teenager didn't go to British Council at the time when I did, but I kind of felt sad. I thought I didn't do well in the exam, in the entry exam, but whatever. There was kind of a point. So old guys often say that age is just a number. It is nothing more than a number. Would you co-sign with that idea?
I don't know, but many people say that your biological age, or like you get aged biologically, but your heart or like your mind doesn't get old enough. Enough, not your mind doesn't get old. You're like always try to live that young phase of your youth. You're like to enjoy life, but age actually is just a concept, man. Age is just a concept. If you feel young enough in your heart, then that's it.
Bro, why don't you just say that you co-sign with that idea?
Okay, if you say so. Okay.
I don't know why people does it, especially women. They always try to hide their age or oldness.
Actually, women are actually 3 years mentally mature than men. Okay,
I didn't know that.
that's a scientific explanation of one thing. Explanation, should I say? I'm not. I
Yes,
don't know what should be the exact word, but that's why. What was I saying, man? I just lost the
they
line.
are more mature, right? It's what you wanted to say, basically.
Mentally, yeah, of course.
Yes, mental.
If I nah, I wouldn't want to compare myself. Like I'm pretty mature. I know. I'm pretty much mature. So if I just compare any average guy, like a 16 or 17-year average guy with a 16 or 17-year average girl, then of course the state of their mentality would be different. So different. Their maturity, their responsibilities, sense of responsibility will be, the guys will be like a little lesser or than the girls. That's the scientific, that's what science says, but this doesn't happen all the time, but most of the time this happens. Do you agree or not?
Yes, I agree with your word. So once one guy was asked that if age was just only a number or not in terms of relationship. So he answered that I can safely say that age is actually just a number in a relationship, and it has nothing to do with compatibility, and a younger person can have a mature and logical outlook, whereas an older person can have immature traits. That's basically what you just said earlier.
Yeah.
So, would you ever date or marry an older lady who is older than you? Would you ever do that?
If our compatibility matches, or like if you're compatible enough with each other, yes, I would go for it. I don't have any problem.
That's a good answer. But once I asked this to one of my friends, and when I asked him, he said he owned. And I guess you can answer what is his explanation was. Can you answer that?
Actually, don't.
Bro, like you don't know what he wanted to say.
What was his answer?
Oh my god.
Why he won't?
Bro, like I don't want to say this in this podcast, but let me just tell you. So his answer was, his explanation behind this was like very typical teenage answer. So he said, bro, when I will be 50, then my girlfriend or then my wife will be 60, right? Then I won't be able to have any sex with her.
Okay. So, like, why he's looking out for a serious relationship? Like, right?
Yes.
The concept of his relationship is like so much different than others.
Yes, and I think that is not the main reason of relationship, right? I think the connection between two couples or like one guy or one girl, that matters the most. The connection between.
Exactly. That's like in our country. I don't know. I never like collided or like came up in conversation with this kind of people who thinks that relationship is only for like what should I say?
Say the word, say the word. Why are you afraid? Man, like our parents not gonna listen to. So like there is no need to worry about.
Someone's parents would like physical engagement. Ah, that's a safe word. That's a safe word.
Yes, that's I should have said that, and now I am.
Yeah. So like see that's the advantage of getting or like being 1 year older than you. That's it.
What you're trying to say, that old is good. Being old is good, right?
Being old is actually good because like with growing time you get experiences. If I say so, like age is just a concept and you can like measure your age with your experience. The much more experience you have, the much more older you are. Like if I compare myself with a working boy, like 16 or 17-year working boy, poor working boy who actually have to help his family to survive, then he might be same age or like elder or like younger than me, but his life experience is much more than mine. Of course, in that sense he is older than me. I think like that. That's my thinking, that's my philosophy, that's my
Yes,
concept of
I
age.
think every old guys like you thinks the way same as you think.
Exactly. I would like
Yes,
to like trade my age with experiences, life experiences. That's it,
yes,
man.
yes.
So
Let's move on with our relationship.
with your relationship, like the
No,
talk of
by
relationship.
bro, like don't take me wrong. You get what I meant, right?
Yeah.
So I think I will marry older girl who is like couple of years older than me if our like connection that matches, if our compatibility matches. I think I would do that. I would go for it, as you just said. I think there is no problem for that. I don't like. Let's forget about that friend. So
But your friend actually like made up like brought out a good point. That's like the very typical thinking.
yes,
Teenage
most
thinking.
of the teenager would think the same, right? You can just
Exactly.
blame him or her for that.
Exactly.
And I think he was very honest. That what matters the most.
He was very honest with his word. If he tries to implement that, like then he's screwed.
Yes.
You should warn him. And you should not try to implement that.
Why? Let's just not talk about this anymore. Let's move on with our topic. So teen relationship is accepted completely, like 100% in US, Europe, Australia. Like in those countries, they are like teen relationship is seen as a normal kind of thing, right? Everybody does that.
Exactly. Not even accepted, they are encouraged.
Yes.
They get encouraged to get into a serious relationship or like in a relationship from their early, not early, like in their teenage.
So, like when some teenagers when approach their parents and say that they just started a relationship, then their parents becomes very happy, and sometimes they take them on a like crazy dinner, right? So it is completely accepted in US, Europe, and in the Middle Eastern part, it is completely prohibited. Like it is the opposite of Europe or US, and in the Asian part, it is almost prohibited, but most of the teen do that secretly, right?
Yes, that's an interesting way to put in, but that's the thing actually.
That's the
The
reality.
That's the reality exactly. Not socially accepted 100%, but yet it does exist. Not like in or like Middle Eastern culture, like you will get beaten up badly if they
Yes.
caught you doing so.
There is
And
like
like
I think there is law that you can't go in a relationship if you are in teenage. Like you have to marry someone.
not in teenage, in like you have the ultimate, you have to do the ultimate, that you have to get married to get into a relationship.
Yes.
You can just go anytime.
But some people in Asia they accept teen relationship or like they support teen relationship, but the percentage is very very small. It's like 1% or 2%. I don't know, but some people do that. And do you think that teen relationship is okay or like do you support teen relationship?
Bro, of course, being a teen, you and I support, but our parents doesn't. That's a
Yes.
straight up. And
So why do you support teen relationship?
why do you?
Like I have reasons because I think there is conditions behind that. Because what I think that if you can handle breakups and taking your girlfriend on dates, giving her or him chocolate, whatever you want to give, if you can do that without affecting your normal life, your study, that kind of stuff, if you can maintain all this, then of course go for this relationship. It is the, I think it makes a man, a proper man. I think it creates responsibility. But
That thing what you just said is like the wholesome experience of relationship, but you and I both know this is not possible in our country. Like in this, like being a random average teenager, this is not possible.
then don't go for relationship. Simple. What I
Exactly.
am doing right now, I'm not in a relationship. I'm not in any kind of relationship. I don't know
Same,
about
but
you, but I'm not.
most of like many of them does not understand this concept. Like literally most of them does not understand the concept. Thing I have to say, like relationship, most of the time what happens, let me just put a metaphor, like what happens in case of smoking or like doing drugs. You are in the very early age, you start doing it just for fun, literally just for curiosity, not even fun.
From curiosity.
Relationship, exactly, from curiosity. Relationship also like that. A relationship also very like that, just out of curiosity you start doing that. Then you can just, because there is this hormonal or like physical or biological and mental, everything works in there, so it gets messy. That's it, it gets messy.
In the other side of spectrum, if you can't handle all that or like if you can handle a breakup, then I think you should not go for any relationship. I think it's very dangerous for someone if
Exactly,
they
of
can't do
course.
that. But there is the problem that most people don't realize or don't understand that.
Yes, yes.
So give me your reason, why do you support teen relationship?
I do support in relationship, being, of course, being a teen, I support that. Being a teen, I support that. That's a very diplomatic or like cheap answer. But I think there is nothing bad in it. There is nothing bad in it
Do you
because
think those experience that you get from breakups or hanging out with your girlfriend is kind of good? Like, do you get a good experience from that? What do you think?
this is a complicated thing to answer. Of course, this kind of experience makes you
A man.
more mature. Why, like you are emphasizing on man? Not that I was going for like makes you more mature, but the thing is, most of them, like most of the guys in our situation, like in this country situation, they like go extreme or like somehow like they messes something up, their study life or their family life, somehow they mess it up, and there is like this religious concept or like a religious
But
restriction.
I think what they are doing is right because it is the age to do mess up, right? Like we are in teenage, we have nothing to worry about.
I would not say mess up, I would say to explore, to gather new experience, to
Yes,
know
we can.
life a much more.
We can gather experience. Like it is our time.
Exactly. My thing is, I already know what might go wrong or like what might happen, and I'm not interested in it right now. But I'm not saying that I am against relationship and all, but I'm not interested in it right now because I have seen, I know what might happen, what will happen, what might go wrong, and these type of things like just disgust me because most of the time it doesn't go well. It literally doesn't go well.
But let's be honest. If tomorrow a girl who is like very pretty looking, she is like 8 out of 10, right? So tomorrow she proposes to you. Would you accept that?
Yeah,
She is very pretty looking and all that. She's perfect almost in every field. Would you accept that?
I would accept, but why would someone that pretty will propose me? That's a question.
I'm going to tell a story in the last segment of this podcast. So let me tell some stats about teen relationships. So 35% of the teens have experienced some kind of dating or like romantic relationship. They've experienced that. And 18% of the teens are like currently in a relationship of some kind, like live relationship, you can say basically.
Okay.
So some boys, they are very dumb. They think that talking to a girl is the same thing as being in a relationship. Or like, what do you think? I find it very bullshit thing. Like, don't you think the same? Like, talking to a girl and being in a relationship is not the same, right?
Of course, not the same.
Because the problem is like we almost for like 8 years I studied in a boys school, right? I never studied in a combined school, and like suddenly when I get a girl that I can chat with her, when someone says that, I think that's a very typical answer to give, that I do have a girlfriend. That's what most boys does. If you study from a combined school, I think that's not the case, but I'm telling the perspective of the boys school students. Like, you have to agree with me about that. Like, I'm talking about reality right now. I'm talking
Yes,
facts.
that's the reality.
Very sad.
Yeah, like this happens, man. This image crisis or like ego crisis, most of the teens go through, and there is this
Ego crisis, yes, that's the word. Ego crisis.
exactly
Because like
ego crisis.
someone asks you that if you ever talked to any girl, and if you say that I have never talked to any girl, then it's, of course, it's a very bad thing for you. It's genuinely a bad thing for you if you haven't talked to any girl and you are already 17 years old, right?
Yeah, that the level of social bullying or like people in our country gets actually bullied. Not in our country and like all over. In also Western culture, you see like the teenagers, the kind of teenagers who are kind of nerd or like who are not that kind to go into a relationship or did not choose to go into one. They get bullied often. That what should I say? That's the disgusting part of it. That's literally the disgusting part of it. Why would you bully someone? It might be a personal reason, it might be any other reason. That's his or her choice to not going to get into a relationship. If you have someone that's good for you, maintain that, keep that in your life. Why would you have to like super expose it and like bully other? That's
Yes.
the concept that disgusts me.
I think that's the ecosystem of teenage. Like, you can't break how much effort you give. Like, it's the ecosystem kind of thing. You are like trapped in that ecosystem.
Kind of, yeah.
I don't talk to any girls. Like, I am a dumb, of course. I'm not like you, very smart. So still today, I don't talk to any girl.
Oh, was that a joke?
No, that's not a joke. That's the reality.
How? How, bro? How?
Bro, like we all know about ourselves. Every time the tradition is that a boy will propose to a girl and the girl accept the proposal and they get in a relationship, right? They start dating. That's the like
Yes, yes, bro. I am trying to break that traditional like taboo. What should I say? Like anything. I am trying to break that.
you want your girlfriend to propose to you, right? That's what you want.
Yeah, technically, if she proposes, if I accept, then she becomes my girlfriend.
Wow.
Technically. Yeah.
So, like, that is the tradition, and sometimes it doesn't work out. The girl, she doesn't accept, and like when someone doesn't accept, they become very mad. Like, there is like two path. Like, one, the girl will accept and it is like a very ending love story, or the another way is like the girl will get very mad and she would never talk to that boy again, right? It's the typical case.
Yeah.
A brief moment of silence for those boy who didn't get accepted, or like whose proposals didn't get accepted.
What about those who never even tried in fear of getting rejected?
Yes, I'm those kind of guy. I think I would never be able to propose to any girl. Like, I'm that kind of introvert.
You're like actually you like someone but never have the courage to approach them. You're
So
like that.
the approach thing is like 1 mile away. The first thing is to talk to a girl, right? I can do that anyway.
Do you like someone? Just say
Bro,
that. I won't ask any further. Just you can say
so
that.
like there is like things. So let me tell you, like when you see girls, you see lots of pretty girls, right? We all see that. And from another to another, you start to like. So when you see
Yeah,
like
you actually got a point.
Let's say
Yeah.
you got five different pretty girls, right? You like everyone, but there is a chance that you can only date only one girl. So then there is a problem, of course. So yeah, I always found out pretty girls. I think some girls are very pretty, but I never had the courage to send them even any message. So the proposing thing, it's like I don't even think about that. All I think about is just sending a message, and I haven't been able to do that now. So let's just forget about proposing.
Okay. Okay. Moving on.
So yeah, I'm those kind of guy who are very introvert, and I think it will be very hard for me, but let's see what awaits in my future. So what is changing now is like more often girls are proposing. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Like instead of boys approaching and proposing to a girl, now girls are more often proposing to a boy. I don't know what actually the reason behind it, the change, but let me tell you a story behind this. It's about my friend. If you guys already follow us, I think you all know that we are in college admission process, right? We just passed 10th grade and we are now in 11th grade, and in order to study in 11th grade we need to get ourselves admitted in a college. So I got myself admitted in a college. Sadman also get himself admitted into a college. So one of my friend, he was going for college admission in that particular college that he was selected in, or he got a chance to study in that college. So he went there in the morning, and there was a line, very big line, and boys and girls were same in the line. Right. So in one lane there was boys and girls at the same time. So behind him there was a girl, random girl. He don't know her. Like after some minutes, the girl, she started to touch his hand. Seriously, like she was touching his hand continuously. Then he turned around, and when he turned around, the girl, she was wearing her mask, and she pulled her mask off, and then she started talking. She was like saying, "How are you? How's your day going? And what's your name? From what school you are?" That kind of stuff, right? So then my friend, he replied that yes, he was good. I'm fine, kind of like that, but he didn't tell his name because he said that, bro, like I don't know the girl, right? He was like a complete stranger to me. Of course they are gonna study in the same college couple of months later. So but still he was like a complete stranger to him. And the funny thing is, like, my friend, he was also in a relationship, so he has to be loyal there, right?
Committed dude.
Yes, the rules in relationship is that you can't talk to any other girls or boys if you are in a relationship, right? Do you respect that idea?
What about friends?
Do you respect that?
Bro, if you, of course, like I'm gonna have friends and she's also gonna have friend. No, I don't respect that.
You don't. Oh my god.
Bro,
Or
like
like, let's imagine that your girlfriend is talking to another boy. Would you accept that?
if she's her friend, then why would I have any trouble?
Wow.
Listen, dude, you have to be mature enough to accept this kind of situations. Because of course you can control it. What would you do? You would take her messenger ID or like Facebook ID and like monitor her every fucking
Yes,
second.
that's
That's
why
not
I'm
gonna be possible.
telling about loyalty. Like, would you be loyal and not talk to any girls?
Of course I'd be loyal.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. And like, if your girl does that, that's mean she is cheating. And I don't know how, but one day you are gonna definitely find out about. You just be sure about that.
Of course you will. Somehow, in a way, you will find that.
Yes, I would also. Of course, I would found out about that. There is no point talking about that about me. So yeah. So then she asked his Facebook ID, and as I was talking earlier, that he is already in a relationship, so he's very loyal, by the way. So he said that I don't even own a phone, so I don't have any Facebook ID, but he has a phone and he also has a Facebook ID, but he didn't give her because the loyalty.
Smart. Okay, what's next?
Then the girl, somehow she found out his name, because that when we go into college for admission, we have to carry all our paperwork, right? Our result sheet.
Yes.
So from there, she found out about his name, from which school he was. After that, my friend, he doesn't talk to her, but she just approaches after time to time. Then she asks, like, "Do you want to eat anything from the canteen? Like, are you hungry?" Like, what is this, man? Like, that thing is like the girl, she's not that ugly looking. She's very much pretty. She's like 8.5 out of 10. So she's definitely pretty. It is not problem that she's not getting any boys, that kind of thing. I think she was very pretty. I seen that picture, seen her.
How much was your friend? 9 out of 10?
No, he said that he was wearing mask all the time. Like when the girl started talking, she pulled off her mask, but he didn't. He never pulled off his mask. Then how can she tell that he was beautiful? Like there is no way. Like from his hair, like there is no way basically.
Yeah, that's a practical or like that's a reasonable explanation.
Yes, so then my friend he said that no, I'm good. I am not hungry.
Like, is your friend any good by like looks and all?
I think he's good, but like not in the like 9, 8, 9, 10. But he's definitely good looking. And he's like good looking, but he's also good from his mind. Like he's a very close friend of mine. That's why he shared me his story. By the way, I didn't tell anyone. I'm just telling this in this podcast.
Technically, like you're like broadcasting this worldwide. Eventually, you haven't told anyone. Yeah,
Like I don't want to talk about it. So
that's gonna be
yeah,
fun.
then the girl approached and he denied. He said that he was not hungry. Thanks for the invitation. After that, what is the crazy part is that the girl asked for his number, his Facebook ID. He didn't give anything. But one day later, he texted me in like 11 or 12 p.m. Then he said that the girl who was talking to her or touching his hands, she found out his mobile number and in WhatsApp she messaged him. And can you guess what she messaged? She messaged her pic, one of her pictures. She messaged that. He forwarded me that, and I think she was very pretty looking. But that is not the point. The main point is how the hell the girl got phone number. What do you think?
That's easy. That's easy. That's the easiest part.
How that is easy? Like you can't get anyone's phone number right away because
You'd know.
first thing
You'd know.
he didn't tell me. I want to know that.
Now, I want you to explore, or like I want you to find that way, because this is nothing. This is not a thing to teach. You would have to find it your way. So, like, yeah, let's wait for that. Because just as I said, this is the easiest
You
part.
are telling that finding number is easy.
Finding number, name, social media account, that's the easiest. The hardest is to talk, to maintain that talking, and to finally like to like each other, get to like each other. That's the hardest part.
No, she is very good at talking. Of course, there is no way that she is not good at talking. If she was not, then she would not do that kind of thing. But I think finding like Facebook ID is, I would admit that also that finding Facebook ID is like easy. But finding phone number, personal mobile number is hard because you don't know anyone's mobile number. How can you find that?
So just think of people who knows your phone mobile number.
No, like that girl, she's a complete stranger.
Dude, you would find out. You would find out yourself. That's the interesting and easiest part. 'Cause I did actually went through that. That's why I know. Just as I saying, you would find out.
Bro, I just fell from sky. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my god, that's dangerous.
Just move on, dude.
So the final thing that I wanted to say that she found out his phone number. I think she got a very good amount of crush on him. Like then
Yeah, that
there is no way that because my friend he was not giving any attention to that girl, but she just kept going and found his phone number. Like in WhatsApp, she sent one of her picture, and my dude he forwarded me that picture, and I think she was actually pretty good looking. She also looked kind of mature, but she was actually good looking. But there is the $1 million question. If the same thing happened to you, what would you do? Would you just ignore like my friend, or like would you accepted that and be friend with that girl?
being in a relationship or like being.
Now, without relationship, are you in a relationship?
Why are you asking me that? I'm asking you the situation. Like you given me a situation. I
So like
have.
if you are not in a relationship, then tell that way. But if you are in a relationship, then tell the other way. Whatever the situation you are in.
If I'm in a relationship, of course, I don't approach anyway. Of course. Not in a single way, not even friend, because that's gonna be creepy. Like you are in a class, then you get to know each other, then you become friend. That's a different thing. But the given situation you just said, being friends from that will be creepy. But if I'm not in a relationship, and I would of course talk. If I don't talk, then I would not find out if that girl is any good or not. Of course, I talk. Then then what?
Bro, I just told you what the girl just said.
Said what?
She first of all she asked how he was doing, and then she asked his name, from which school he was, then asked for his Facebook ID.
That's kind of creepy. So like, if I find that out, that guy is
She wanted to take him to a like date basically. Like she wanted to feed him from canteen.
just that's not it. Listen, of course I've talked to that girl, but I'm not that desperate or that cheap to like that I'm desperate for a relationship. Of course I talk to that girl, then if I like her, if I like her, that doesn't matter she likes me. If I like her, then of course things can go ahead.
I think you would like. I think she was actually kind of pretty.
Being pretty does not actually define anything. You can be pretty, but you can be dumb as well.
She was like nice all the time.
You don't know any personal thing about her. How can you say?
Yes, that is kind of true. But the way she approached, like you need to have good amount of balls to do that, right?
That's I agree. Because to approach someone to tell that you like him or her, it needs actual guts. No one can disagree to that. It needs actual gut. Either you are dumb or like you are like super smart. Because there is always this chance of getting rejected. And being on knowing that you would approach someone, that means you are actually mentally that much strong to accept that. That someone won't like you even you like them or won't like you back.
So what are you trying to say basically, that you would talk to her but you would not make her as your friend, right?
You completely misread the situation. You completely misread what I just said. I said if I like her, if I find her any good, if she is actually good, then of course things can go ahead. If does not, then of course I would actually try to ignore her, because that will be creepy to maintain that kind of friendship or like relationship which started from a line touching your hand. That will be very creepy.
Yes, that I also think that that was kind of creepy. But what I think she was very nice to him, and I think she was basically nice, and I would make her my friend, like as a friend, normal friend, not in any kind of relationship. But I would definitely make her friend, because if I wanted to make a friend, I would not do that same thing as she did. I would not touch anybody's hand. But I think she was just nice. I think she was, what to say, like I would make her friend. Definitely. If I am not in a relationship,
Okay.
would you do the same thing?
That dude, I said you like this is going to be the third time.
No, like I'm not getting what you are trying to say. That is the problem. I'm apologizing for that.
Audience might get.
Yes, audience
So
might get. So that is the main thing. That's what we need. The audience to get the whole thing, right? So
exactly.
that's everything for today's episode. And we talked about relationship. I think our parents, no parents should listen to this.
No, the parents should listen to this. You should not say that parents should not. Parents should listen to the parents should know that their child is actually mature enough to think about this stuff. Think about this stuff and like, oh, bro, this is a taboo. Actually, you can't actually hold them. This is a very personal choice, and also this is if you can maintain it, this is nothing bad. But things might go south anytime if you're not mature enough. That's what parents actually think or like worry about all the time.
Scared of.
Exactly. Parents are feared of this. Like anything can happen, and mental breakdowns are the worst.
Yeah, so that is it. And definitely I think my parents, they should not listen to this, and I if they found out that I talked about this kind of stuff, they would just kill me. So yeah,
No, no, parents are not that type of what should I say? That type of cruel. They would listen.
bro, like every parent is not like your parents, man. Like you have to.
My when did I say my parents are that super duper liberal parents who would actually allow me to bring my girlfriend in my house? No, not this is not the case. But I am confident that my parents would listen to this throughout, and they actually would try to think my judgment. What do I think? If I say anything wrong, if my judgment or my thinking is wrong, they would try to actually point that out. I'm this much confident. I'm not saying that my parents just would say me just go get into a relationship, do that, do this, do that, go to a date. No, they won't say that.
All right, I admit everyone should listen to this podcast.
Yeah,
We'll see you in the